Well, I have this upcoming film with Nawazuddin Siddiqui, where I have also acted with him. It's a film called Rautu Ki Beli. Beli is village in Uttarakhandi language, and Rautu Ki Beli means the village of the Rawats, the Rautu. And I shouldn't be revealing too much of the subject because it's a film which has to do with you also investigating the film with the police inspector that is played by Nawazuddin Siddiqui. So I shouldn't be telling you about this, but this film has been produced by Z5 and it should be out very soon, most probably in the month of April or May. Well, objectification of women is it's seriously a bane with which we film people have to live with, because a lot of people think that titillating the youthful audience is something that a woman's body can do. It shouldn't be done unless until it's a very necessary need of the film. Forget about objectification. Even if a woman is shown in the nude in a film like Bandit Queen, then it comes like a slap on your face. It doesn't come as a titillation. When you see the Bandit Queen in the nude, that's also very necessary for the film. And censors could have also been kind, and the film had to go right through to the High Court and this and that. Otherwise, it would have become a wonderful Oscar film that year. But it couldn't go because of the cussed nature of our censor boards, and then the courts also have to follow whatever is written in the law. So it depends on how and why you are showing that. It's not just a woman is shown in less clothes or naked, then it's a bad thing. It cannot be a bad thing always. But we have also seen these titillating dances which we see in the film. Out of nowhere, suddenly they will come in between the film as an item number, and they are necessarily only for the titillation. That's not a good thing. The only person that can discourage this is you and me, is my brother and your sister, by not watching it. When we say about television that you have the remote in your hand, similarly, nobody is putting a gun on your head to go and see a certain film, especially when you have heard from the other brothers and other sisters that what the film is like, what the film is about. The mouth publicity is the most important thing for a film. After that, if I go and you go and your sister goes and my brother goes, then it's up to us. The moment we stop watching those films, the film walas are not there to they don't have an agenda. The only agenda most of the filmmakers have, that their film should be seen by more and more people. And if more and more people don't go to that shop, they'll stop selling that certain good. OTT is a wonderful medium, and especially I love OTT because it has democratized the consumption of cinema. Now, because of the OTT and because of the telephony in India, my driver and my maid can also see the film that I go to see. Initially, when I went to see the film, number one, I needed a lot of money to go to the theatre. I needed those 4 hours to go and to see a 2.5 hour film, because wherever the theatre is located, I have to go there, then I have to come back. I needed money for the popcorn in the cinema and samosa in the cinema. So the total bill per person usually came about 1,000 rupees, which was not available to my maid and my driver. Also, the thing was time. Even when I went to see a film with my driver was sitting outside in the car, waiting for me for 3 hours. Now he doesn't waste that 3 hours. In those 3 hours, the same film that I'm seeing inside the hall, if available on the OTT, he'll be watching it on his phone. Of course, phone is perhaps not the right medium to consume that film. But how does it matter that whether you are drinking your beer from the bottle straight or from a good glass? So the thing is, he's also consuming the same content at the same time that I do. And that the 3 hours then out of my home, and if my maid has time and she doesn't have to clean and cook, then she's also seeing the same film at the same time. So this democratization of the content, of the reach of the content, is a great thing that OTT has done. The short films also available on the OTT. Documentaries are also available on the OTT. So everything, the consumption of those things which never got a release. In India, the short films and the documentary films never got a release. Once upon a time, the INB used to have a rule that every theatre had to show a little film, award-winning film or something before the film or after the film. Or there was at least the films division's news document documentaries before the film. Now all this thing has gone out of the window. There's no alternative space which was created by the government. So now OTTs are providing that thing where I can also watch the Animal Planet of Mr. Spielberg, who has created this lovely series about the origin of the species, or I can see a short film, or I can see an Anand Patwardhan film, or I can see a Karan Johar film or a Yash Chopra film or whatever I want to see. Then also the OTT has given a kind of a better shelf life to the cinema. Those films of Shyam Benegal which were not available to me otherwise to go to a theatre and see, I can now see them on the OTT. Of course, some of the films are available on the YouTube, but YouTube, either the reception or the clarity of the films, it was not all that good. But the OTT gives me a 4K content, which is such a great thing. So, and this increased volume has given a lot of work to the new talent, whether not just actors, the writers, the other people involved, because cinema is a whole barat. We only see the actors and we talk about actors, but actors are the last thing in the evolution of the cinema that come in the very end, when the script has been written, when the costumes have been made, when the lights have been fixed, when the cameraman has done his basic homework, only then the actor comes in this assembly line. I have no doubt, and I'm sure that the other younger filmmakers like Sudhir Mishra, like Rajkumar Hirani, and like Vidhu Vinod Chopra, and of course Kamal Hassan Saab, would not mind my saying so, that one of my favorites is the senior filmmaker Shyam Benegal. He is 90 at the moment and still going strong, still making films. 6 months ago, the film which I wrote for him, Mujib, The Making of a Nation, which was an Indo-Bangladesh co-production in which the Prime Minister Modi ji and the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina ji were equally involved emotionally with the film, which was a co-production of the NFDC of India and BFTC of Bangladesh. 6 months ago, that film got released from a 90-year-old director. So you can imagine that how hard-working a man he is, and who is not going to stop easily despite his health conditions and despite his advanced age. So he is one of my favorites because he is such a wise man, and him being a favorite is not just as a filmmaker, as a human being and as a depository of wisdom, depository of history. He is such a well-read, well-informed, all-knowing person that it's time always great. The time spent with him is always great. Even when we are not working for years together, there's no project and we are not working, I like to go and spend time with him. None of the other filmmakers that I have talked about are kind of less passionate about the medium of cinema or less knowledgeable. But I think knowledge and information and wisdom are other things. And wisdom comes only when your knowledge is pickled with time. And that's what Shyam Benegal is. Every moment spent with him is you learn so much from him. And then look at the range of the subjects which he has made. One of the great things that I have worked with him, and I'm very proud of it, is this 10-hour long film called Samvidhan, which is on the making of the Indian Constitution. So Shyam Benegal is that man. He has not only created a lot of historical films, he has created history in Indian cinema. And the best tribute was given to him once in a meeting, I remember, by Om Puri, another actor which he discovered and brought to cinema, and gave him the kind of a stature and status which he enjoyed all his life. Om Puri said when Shyam Benegal's biography written by Sangeeta Datta was published by the British Film Institute, in that program I was also there, and giving his tributes to Mr. Benegal, Om Puri said that in the jungle of Indian cinema, the tallest tree is named Satyajit Ray. But the widest tree, the widest banyan which is there, where the roots and the shoots go everywhere, is Shyam Benegal. And I think that was really true. Nasiruddin Shah, it's very difficult to get an actor like him. An actor like him which brings out the essence, the quintessence of a character that he's playing. But I think the most accomplished performer, if I may use this word, because Nasir Bhai, being such a wonderful actor, can perhaps not dance as well. But I'm talking about an actor who is a complete performer, who can act as well as dance, as well as do action, as well as is as much of a perfectionist as Amir Khan Saab is. His name is Kamal Haasan. And Kamal Haasan is a delight to work with. The control of the skills of acting all over performing in India. In India, acting is not only about, as our Bharat Muni says, that there are 4 components of acting. There are 4 elements of acting: Angik, Vachik, Aharya and Satvik. Angik is what you can do with your body. Vachik is what you can do with your voice. And of course, Aharya is what you can do with your costumes and things. And Satvik is what you can bring from inside, the truth. So out of all these 4 things, the kind of control which Kamal Haasan has on Angik, on Vachik, on Aharya, on Satvik, it's amazing. I don't know whether you agree with me or not, but look at his range. Look at just one film called Dashavatar, which I wrote for him in Hindi. The 10 characters which he plays, they all have a different body, they all have a different speech, they all have a different aharya, the whole the look, and they all have a different satya in them. So just look at one film. So and of course there are hundreds of films which he has done in his career, and he is one of all these actors who started at the age of 4, and from the age of 4 to 70, such a long career of 66 years as an actor, but who has also learnt and controlled dancing. He learned classical dance to be a dancer. He learnt action to be an action master and an action actor. So he seriously is a hands-on man who has learned editing and makeup and this and that and everything.